Welcome to Accelerate App Innovation with Azure and Kubernetes. In this webinar, you'll learn about the benefits of app innovation and how Kubernetes can help you achieve those benefits. Hi, I'm Mike Brooks. My role at SNP Technologies is to help our customers achieve app innovation with the Azure Cloud. In today's fast-paced market driven by digital transformation, innovative companies recognize the key role their applications play to reduce operational costs, boost productivity, and remain relevant in the marketplace. When we speak of app innovation, we're referring both to the features of our software we continually adapt to meet customer needs and preferences, and the subject matter of today's webinar, the approaches that allow us to deliver this innovation to our customers quickly, reliably, and securely. As mentioned at the top of this webinar, we'll focus on the benefits of Kubernetes. But before we get there, we need to understand the role of container technology. Containerization is an approach to software development and deployment in which an application or service, its dependencies, and its configuration are packaged together. Using the analogy, just as shipping containers allow goods to be transported by ship, train, or truck, regardless of the cargo inside, software containers act as a packaged unit of software that can run in any environment, assuming the same operating system and a compatible container runtime engine like Docker. This aspect of portability is the main benefit of container technology. Another significant benefit is its economy. Unlike traditional virtual machines, which are based on hardware virtualization, containers are a form of operating system virtualization. Unlike a VM, a complete version of the OS is not installed in the container, and therefore containers are much smaller than virtual machines. Containers benefit developer and operation teams alike. Containers are truly a DevOps tool, not the exclusive domain of programmers or system admins. For developers, containers can speed up the development inner loop. They are easy to deploy to test environments and share within a team. And you can rest assured, if the container works in your machine, it will equally run in a test environment or on the machine of a team member. For IT, containers promote density, partitioning, and scale, which can accrue cost savings. Deployment is very efficient and fast, whether automated in a continuous delivery system or initiated from a command line tool such as PowerShell. As a result of these benefits and more, containers have an advantage over hardware virtualization and have become the go-to unit of deployment. This brings us to Kubernetes. Kubernetes is an open source orchestration solution for the deployment and management of containers. It is important to note that you don't require Kubernetes to run containers, but Kubernetes provides the features we need to run containers at scale. With Kubernetes, we get a platform that automates the scheduling and scaling of containers, health checks to verify that our containers are live, and automatically spin up a container if a failure is detected. Kubernetes provides mechanisms for service discovery between containers, logging and monitoring, role-based access control, the ability to mount our containers to external storage and to communicate through external load balancers. The list of features goes on. The essential takeaway is that Kubernetes is an enterprise-grade system for running containerized applications in production. Among Kubernetes' innovative features, application scale is the most compelling. To illustrate this, let's consider an application that we need to scale for high availability and performance. Before containers and Kubernetes, a common scenario, as we see here, would be to scale the application across 2 or more load-balanced virtual machines. While each VM in our cluster could potentially run multiple applications, to promote performance, reliability, and security, each application runs in its own virtual machine instance. This comes with costly overhead for the care and maintenance of many VMs, and time-consuming effort to add and remove VMs as traffic demand cycles. Very often, the ops team would optimize the cluster for peaks in traffic demand, paying for idle infrastructure when demand was low. With the advent of containers, and their operating system virtualization, we can now safely deploy multiple application instances on a single VM. With containers, we better utilize the virtual machine resources, and we can reduce the number of VMs we need to maintain. All is well and good until the number of applications that we need to deploy increases and the traffic demand is unpredictable and very high on occasion. This is where container orchestration comes into play. We provide Kubernetes with the characteristics of our application traffic, and it takes over the scaling of our containers up and down across virtual machines as needed to meet customer demand. Sounds great, but once people understand the benefits of Kubernetes container orchestration, the number one question we hear is, how do I get started? That's followed by, what is this going to cost me? Kubernetes is a complex technology to be sure, but Azure Kubernetes Service lowers the bar to entry and provides substantial cost savings when compared to a do-it-yourself rollout. With AKS, Microsoft manages the Kubernetes control plane and provides this service at no cost. You are only responsible for the cost of the virtual machines on which your containers run. Azure also takes away the pain of Kubernetes deployment. With just a line of PowerShell code or launched from the user-friendly Azure Portal graphical user interface, your cluster is up and running in minutes and ready to receive your application workloads. Beyond that, Microsoft handles the patching, scaling, cluster upgrades, and more. Infrastructure for monitoring and logging is also included, not to mention the reliability and security baked into the Azure cloud. This frees IT staff to work on other mission-critical activities. In addition, AKS has deep integration with other Microsoft tools that help you containerize your workloads, debug your applications, and set up continuous integration and delivery. Now that you're familiar with the technology, let's see what it can do. Over the next few minutes, I'm going to tell you how one company used Azure Kubernetes Service to solve their legacy application issues. Our case study subject is a provider of insurance products and services. Back in 2010, the company developed a homegrown underwriting management system. 7 years later, that key line of business system had growing pains. Usage by internal and external partners had been increasing year to year, taxing internal data center resources and requiring frequent IT triage. In addition, the business had developed a considerable backlog of feature requests. The company launched their version 2.0 initiative in 2017 to address the costly issues. The project team began by analyzing the existing application to identify the root causes for the version 1 problems. Their investigation revealed that the traditional monolithic architecture used to build version 1 was a bottleneck. Although it was sufficient at the time of development, it was not designed to scale up with network demand. The solution? App innovation. The team decoupled the application into independent feature components known as microservices. The result? The team was able to develop, test, and release features at a faster pace, and do so incrementally. To ease the transition, the team adopted up-to-date DevOps tooling and practices, including the use of Docker to package and run their applications in containers. With containers, members of the development and IT team could rest assured that each application iteration would run in a consistent way across environments. When the team tested the application against anticipated usage models, performance bottlenecks continued to be a problem. The team knew that container orchestration could solve their scaling problem and were attracted to the open source Kubernetes orchestration platform because of its rich set of features and dominance in the marketplace. However, the company didn't have the in-house expertise required to install and maintain a Kubernetes cluster. Furthermore, the director of IT operations was strongly opposed to adding capacity to the on-premise data center. Fortunately, the team had one major advantage. Its IT leadership had a cloud vision. The leadership understood that a cloud provider, and Azure in particular, would augment its IT capacity and provide services and expertise to propel its digital innovation and lower costs. A key aspect of the company's Azure strategy was the establishment of a secure, high-bandwidth express route connection between its on-premise data center and Azure. This was essential as many database resources were required to remain on-prem. Microsoft's managed Kubernetes offering, Azure Kubernetes Service, was a perfect fit for their new underwriting application. As a managed service, the company had a turnkey Kubernetes cluster with infrastructure managed by Microsoft. With the support of the SNP Technologies engineering team, the company configured hybrid network connectivity between its AKS cluster and the on-prem data center. And SNP helped the company configure its application deployment in code to promote version control over the Kubernetes configuration and to streamline the steps to spin up deployment environments. We have used our roadmap to app innovation to help many customers achieve digital transformation, including the insurance provider just featured. We begin with a foundation for cloud expansion, which includes an Azure framework and cloud-managed services. Next, we design a set of repeatable practices for app innovation based on your organization's unique needs and goals. SNP experts will be with your team throughout the process. Ready to get started? Contact SNP to evaluate an Azure Kubernetes Service proof of concept in your organization. Our one-week POC begins with the discovery phase. We'll get to know your workloads and dependencies and identify an application for the proof of concept. Next, we'll assess your app components to validate migration compatibility. We'll then design an implementation blueprint for an AKS cloud solution architecture. At the conclusion of the proof of concept, we'll demonstrate and validate the migration of your application to Azure Kubernetes Service, setting the stage for a production-ready deployment. SNP Technologies is a Gold Microsoft partner. We believe in generating real value for your business. From thought to execution, we share a common purpose with our clients to turn their investment into an advantage. We invite you to start a conversation with SNP about app innovation for your business. Thank you for tuning in to this on-demand webinar.